October 20th, 1943. The Gestapo kicks down Irena Sendler's door at dawn. They find her sitting at her kitchen table, calmly drinking tea. In her pocket, a death sentence. The names of 2,500 Jewish children she smuggled out of the Warsaw Ghetto. But here's what the Gestapo don't know. Buried in glass jars under an apple tree lies the key to reuniting these kids with their families after the war. If Irena breaks under torture, 2,500 families will be lost forever. This is the story of how one Polish nurse became the most successful child smuggler in Nazi-occupied Europe, and how a single decision would determine whether she lived or died that morning. Let me take you back to where it all began. Warsaw, October 1942, 18 months before her arrest. Irena Sendler, 32 years old, walks toward the Warsaw Ghetto carrying medical supplies. The guards barely glance at her papers. She's been treating tuberculosis outbreaks for months. What they don't know is what's hidden beneath those supplies. Inside the ghetto walls, 400,000 Jews are crammed into just over 1 square mile. Children are dying at 100 per day from starvation and disease. But on this particular morning, everything changes. A woman named Mira approaches her with 3-year-old Rachel. "Please," Mira whispers, "take her. Let her live." Irena stares into Rachel's dark eyes. Her father's words echo in her mind. "If you see someone drowning, you must try to rescue him, even if you cannot swim." She takes Rachel. But getting one child out safely is only the beginning. Once word spreads that there's a nurse who can work miracles, desperate mothers start appearing. Dozens of them, then hundreds. How do you smuggle hundreds of children past Nazi guards? Irena's solutions are as ingenious as they are heartbreaking. She starts with the courthouse basement tunnel that connects the ghetto to the other side of Warsaw. Irena wraps infants in blankets and carries them through pitch-black passages while Nazi boots march overhead. But babies cry, so she develops new methods. Toddlers hidden in potato sacks, children taught to lie still in coffins during funeral processions, older kids coached to memorize Catholic prayers and walk out disguised as her assistants. Each rescue requires split-second timing. One crying child, one suspicious guard, and everyone dies. By December 1942, Irena has saved 400 children. By March 1943, it's over 1,000. But the most dangerous part ain't the rescues. It's what happens next. Every child needs new papers, new names, new families, and most heartbreaking, they need to forget their real parents, sometimes forever. Irena keeps records of every child's true identity, writing names on tissue paper with invisible ink. She buries these in glass jars under an apple tree. 2,500 names, 2,500 lives hanging in the balance. By fall 1943, the net is closing. German patrols are suspicious. Searches are thorough. Questions are sharp. Irena knows it's only a matter of time. October 20th, 1943. Back to that kitchen table. They drag her to Pawiak Prison, the most feared detention center in Nazi-occupied Poland. Irena is thrown into cell 47. No windows, no light. Just stone walls. The interrogations begin immediately. We know you've been helping Jews escape, the officer says. Give us names and we'll make this easy. Irena's response is silence. So they break her feet, dislocate her shoulders, burn her with cigarettes, beat her till she passes out. For 3 months this continues, every single day. But Irena never breaks. Not once does she give up a single name. She understands something her captors don't. Every day she survives keeps 2,500 family secrets safe. A German guard named Klaus Weber, watching her torture, feels uneasy. Thinking of his own daughter, he makes a choice. January 1944. The officer says, "Tomorrow at dawn, firing squad." But Weber opens her cell. "Quickly," he whispers, "there's a way out." He smuggles her out in a laundry cart, listing her as executed. Irena emerges, broken but alive. The secrets are safe. May 1945. Germany surrenders. Irena digs up the jars, 2,500 identities. Reunions begin. Some families embrace, many find only loss. Only 500 children reunite with kin. Irena's story fades till 1999, when Kansas students turn it into Life in a Jar. In 2000, Poland nominates her for the Nobel Peace Prize. She dies in 2008 at 98. That apple tree still blooms, a memorial to her courage. She wasn't born a hero. She chose to be one. What would you choose? What would you risk to save a stranger's child? Irena Sendler answered with her entire life. In a world that needs more folks willing to do what's right, no matter the cost, her lesson ain't about her courage alone. It's about seeing that courage lives in ordinary people who choose to act. If this story moved you, share it. One nurse with nothing but compassion changed the fate of 2,500 families. What could you change? Like this video if Irena's story inspired you. Subscribe for more stories of courage and hope. And let me know in the comments, who's the everyday hero in your life? Subscribe to get more incredible stories of ordinary folks doing extraordinary things. You won't want to miss it. Remember, sometimes the most important question ain't whether you can swim, it's whether you're willing to jump in anyway.